This mom found a family living in a battered old bus, so she returned with the ultimate surprise.
Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
On Thanksgiving, Americans give thanks for all the good things in their lives, from the food on their tables to the roofs over their heads. On that holiday in 2016, though, one family didn't have much to cherish. They didn't even have a home to call their own. So, a local woman decided to step in and do something truly remarkable for them. At the end of 2016, things weren't going at all to plan for Olivia and her husband, Eric. Originally from Florida, the couple and their 3 children had hit the road in the hope of finding work opportunities. They traveled around in what used to be a school bus. It had since been transformed on the inside in order to make it habitable for the 5 of them. Olivia and Eric didn't have much luck finding employment, though. And after fruitlessly trying to get work in Missouri, they and their children ended up in Colorado around Thanksgiving, in late November. This was because the pair had been told that there were plenty of jobs in the state. However, a series of events meant that Olivia and Eric were unable to take advantage of any work opportunities. Olivia was heavily pregnant, for one, while Eric had also had all of his personal identification stolen. As a result, money was extremely tight for the couple, meaning that they were no longer able to afford to park their bus at RV sites. Consequently, Olivia and Eric began selling some of their belongings to improve their cash flow. Unfortunately, though, this didn't provide the income the family sorely needed. They couldn't even afford substantial food for themselves. And to make matters even worse, Olivia was breastfeeding her youngest child at the time. So, on Thanksgiving, the family found themselves in a desperate situation. At a time when others were enjoying big get-togethers with plenty of delicious food, Olivia, Eric, and their children were sitting in their broken-down vehicle by a truck stop in Colorado. The couple and their kids might have felt like they were all alone in the world, but they had no idea that somebody had noticed them struggling. And instead of ignoring the family, the stranger decided to do something to help. This kind member of the public was named Virginia Kinch. Virginia was a local mom who was busy spending her Thanksgiving helping others. She and her daughters had been delivering plates of food to people experiencing homelessness in the area when they spotted Olivia's family living in the old school bus. They couldn't stop thinking about them. After all, a family living in a school bus is hard to forget. At this time, the weather was bad, and Virginia was very worried about the family, especially the kids. Plenty of other people in the community would have ignored them and rushed back to their own Thanksgiving celebrations, but Virginia was different. She couldn't just walk on by. So, after some discussion with her daughters, Virginia came up with a plan of action to help the family in need. Specifically, as Olivia, Eric, and the children didn't have anywhere to live, the Good Samaritan decided to let them stay in a spare house she owned in Greeley. That's right. Virginia had a second house that she was planning on renting out or selling. But at that time, it was empty, and she couldn't think of any better use for it than to house Olivia, Eric, and their brood. So, she drove down to find the family and make the kind offer. Olivia couldn't believe Virginia's offer was real. In December 2017, the surprised mom told Colorado newspaper The Times-Call, "I thought it was a prank." That was my mindset, because nobody does that. Offers like Virginia's don't come around very often. But Virginia was deadly serious about her offer. She would later write on a GoFundMe page, "We just couldn't leave them like that, those little babies in the cold." Of course, the generous offer was too good and too necessary for Olivia and Eric to pass up. The family accepted the amazing invitation from the total stranger, and they even went round to Virginia's house for dinner. Then they officially moved into the empty house in Greeley. They had a home for the holidays. But Virginia didn't stop at merely offering up her property. She also asked around the neighborhood for donations that might help the family even further. And kind locals duly gave food, furniture, and clothes, setting Olivia, Eric, and their children up for the future and a Merry Christmas. But the Colorado community helped Olivia and Eric in other ways, too. For one thing, a local church helped Eric replace his lost identification. Olivia, meanwhile, was finally able to find the kids some daycare. This in turn freed her up to apply for jobs and attend interviews. With every job application she sent in, Olivia felt more and more certain that her family would end up back on their own 2 feet. Finally, then, things started to look up for the family, who, just a matter of days before, had been facing real hardships. For the first time in months, the family saw light at the end of the tunnel. And Olivia opened up to the Times call about just how grateful she was that Virginia had bothered to help them. Olivia said, "It can be really difficult to get out of homelessness. People don't understand that it's so unstable, it's so hard to get your footing and get out of it." She even described Virginia as an angel who may have played a part in really saving her life. What's more, Olivia and her family were told that they were welcome to stay in the house until they were back on their feet. And to that end, Virginia set up a GoFundMe page to help with the financial side of putting them up. But it turns out that the kind-hearted woman had an even bigger plan for the future. You see, Virginia had no trouble using the power of the World Wide Web to enact positive change. She had an impressive idea in mind. Virginia was determined to help another family in the same unfortunate situation as Olivia. Therefore, with the help of the fundraising page, she intended to raise enough cash to turn her second home into a baby angel house, a safe space for homeless children to stay in the future. And Virginia rallied people to the cause by saying on the GoFundMe page, "Let's partner to help babies get out of the cold. We could be saving these babies' lives." To date, the page has raised a total of $5,953, an amount that will surely help Virginia to support other families in need when the time comes. And as Virginia no doubt learned, it's not a matter of if the time comes, but when. After all, there's always someone in your community who could use a helping hand, even if they seem like the perfect caretaker. Being a mother is no easy task, as any parent can tell you, but a great-grandmother known as Ms. Ella from Las Vegas, Nevada, didn't stop there. She went on to bring up her grandchildren and is raising 6 great-grandchildren, too. And when the kindly senior fell on hard times, the community noticed her good heart and prepared the biggest surprise for her.